So what's the questions you have got in the past few days? Is it about curfew or the ban of foreign arrivals?
Yes, many questions actually about curfew, who it covers, who is exempted, and the details of the curfew, as well as questions like, for example, about the recommendation to postpone travel into Thailand. Those are the main questions.
So let's start with curfew then. What are the most common questions about curfew from foreigners and expats here?
Yes, firstly, there was one concern about if the curfew would affect trade, actually, the movement of goods, because business has to go on. So actually, the curfew would not affect trade in terms of the transport of goods for import and export, or for the movement of goods which are to make everyday life possible, like the movement of money in banks, or gasoline, or commodities, food delivery, and things like that. That will still be allowed during the curfew. But in terms of the general curfew, of course, it's 2,200 hours to 0400 hours for all citizens and people in Thailand. Lockdown or closing off the country, ปิดเมือง. I recommend that we don't use that word, because in reality it is not closing off the country. The airport is in fact still open, although the recommendation is to postpone travel inbound until 15th of April, but outbound, of course, and the airports are still open. The businesses are just there is a curfew, and then there's a recommendation to postpone travel. It's not a full lockdown of the country, but of course, as Kun Tepchai mentioned, it's the government will be assessing this day by day. It's kind of difficult when you have to balance many things, so keeping life as normal, as well as trying to stop the spread of the virus at the same time. It's a delicate balance.
So can we describe it as a partial lockdown?
I still wouldn't say partial lockdown. I would still say restrictions in travel and very cautious measures, for example, curfew.
And what about Thai who live abroad and who still want to come home? They cannot do so from now on.
Yes, the Thais have the constitutional right to return to their country, of course, but in these trying times, in this situation, I think everybody a short temporary postponement of travel inbound is necessary for their country. Okay, so in practice, the Thai embassies abroad have already reached out to the Thai community around the world to recommend this postponement, or it's a temporary postponement of travel. And this has been done through social media, as well as direct contact, and easy to understand infographic for the Thai people abroad. The registration, there was a registration for those who wanted certificates from the embassy to return. That has been frozen temporarily until the 15th of April as well.
So it's right for me to understand that the 15th of April is just the sort of a initial time frame, and this can change depending on situation will develop, right?
Yes, I would say so.
And Deputy Natapanu, right now we still see the photo image circulating in social media of when the foreign visitor or foreigners in Thailand who would like to have visa extension, they may not would like to, but they feel that they still have to extend the visa. And the queue is quite long and packed at immigration office. So what do you like to tell them, or what's the other measures to help them in terms of visa extension right now?
Yes, the government understands the situation, the global situation. Some then at the moment not return to their countries or have difficulty returning to their countries. I mentioned the other day about the possible extension of tourist visas. That is in the pipeline. So frankly speaking, the details are being ironed out by. So what I have to say is that definitely, to tell you frankly, this is on the agenda. The Prime Minister is aware, and if the Prime Minister is aware, it just takes a bit of time to trickle down to have implementable policies. We see in the news every day about lines in immigration, not only at Chiang Watana or in Bangkok, but in the other provinces as well. Yes, so it's just a matter of time that this will happen, and we'll be able to facilitate the foreign persons who are requesting to extend their visas.
So, look, if I'm someone in one of the, say, European countries, I walk into the Thai embassy there or Thai consulate there and say, I want to go to Thailand. So what will happen?
I'm sorry, if one person from a European country walks into...
Yes, you walk into a Thai embassy and Thai consulate, right? Say, I would like to fly to Thailand next week. So what will happen to this person?
Yes, the embassy will be advising them that they are encouraging for that person to postpone the trip for kind of obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm. Unless he or she have very essential business to tend to, right? And that would be exception for that?
Yes, well, for essential purposes, that can be conveyed and considered, of course. As per the prior announcement, 6 groups of persons can enter Thailand, with Thai citizens or foreign diplomats and foreign persons with work permits, and 3 or 4 other groups. But that, in general, is on hold until 15th of April as a recommendation.
So what do you think is the biggest challenge for the Foreign Ministry at the moment, after the imposition of the curfew and the restrictions in travel?
Yes, the most difficult challenge is in implementing and conveying this to the, creating an understanding among the Thai community as well. We do our best on the ground. I mean, when there was a need for the Fit to Fly or the certification from the embassy for Thai people in the UK, they facilitated that. Registration, some Thai citizens work illegally abroad, but we register them, we assist them, we go into the immigration system. So it's about implementing all of the measures. But I'm saying that, of course, these measures are necessary in these times, or in these challenging times, and we do our best on the ground, abroad, around the world to assist Thai persons, as well as those foreign citizens who work or live in Thailand or want to travel to Thailand and do business in Thailand.